You cannot practice successful questioning without a little time. Are you picking students who do volunteer as well as those who do not raise their hands? And do you accept
"I don't know"
as an answer? Have you ever thought about the language you're using when you're asking a question? Do you allow wait time when you're expecting a response? Is there an equal ratio between questions to boys and questions to girls? Here are my top teaching and learning tips that will enhance teaching and learning in your classroom. Tip number 1, pose the question and then ask the student. Asking the question first and then looking around the room sends the message that everyone needs to be prepared. Students are more attentive when they know they could be held accountable at any moment. It also allows students the think time that they need to process the question and formulate an answer. Tip number 2, allow think time before expecting a response. You cannot practice successful questioning without a little time. Most teachers wait around 2 seconds before answering a question themselves. This is understandable as teachers feel pressure to cover as much content in a little amount of time. How much wait time is enough? Studies show that a 3-second pause is appropriate for a lower cognitive question, and think time of up to 9 seconds should be used for higher cognitive questions. Thinking time allows students time to process complex questions and construct more complex answers. It is important for students to know that the person with the fastest response isn't what we are looking for. Thoughtful and thorough responses are more valuable than speedy ones. Tip number 3, responding to incorrect responses. It is important to create a safe atmosphere for risk-taking so our students feel comfortable and confident when answering questions, as well as when asking them. You can do this by resisting the impulse to say,
"No, that's the wrong answer."
Instead, indicate which question does answer that response correctly. Allow your students the opportunity to ask a friend to help them to answer a question. Break the question down into 2 parts. The student can be successful in small sections. Successful questioning doesn't always have a right or a wrong answer. Most of us are in the habit of positively reinforcing a valid response by saying good or correct. This can shut down other students. They may automatically assume other answers are wrong. This is especially problematic if the question is interpretive, as there can be many responses, and you can encourage your students to supply supporting evidence to validate their response. The solution to this is to develop a habit of asking for ideas instead of answers. We can then comment on the proof that the student supplies instead of the answer itself. It also encourages students to formulate strong evidence in supporting their responses. Tip number 4. Design questions that require students to build on their classmates' responses. Encourage students to listen to one another and make connections to build on what others have said. Tip number 5. Prepare your questions in advance. Plan a series of clear and specific questions that are logically connected. During class discussions, rather than beginning with a question that is multifaceted and complex, use a series of questions to build depth. As much as we think we will remember the questions that we are going to ask the class, unless you have a superhuman memory, most of us will forget. Planning questions in advance allows you to build on knowledge and is one of the keys to effective questioning. Tip number 7. Use partner sharing techniques to increase student engagement. A great way to successfully question your students is by making it low risk through partner sharing activities. Think, pair, share. This is a brilliant collaboration strategy to encourage participation and also to practice effective speaking and listening skills. Think. You pose a question, and then you have the students independently respond. Have students then share their responses. Then you come together as a class to share all responses. Make sure you ask yourself, which questions resulted in discussions, which led to more inquiry? We are not going to get questioning perfect. However, like with anything, with a little practice, we will keep improving. Do you have a favourite questioning technique? Share your responses in the comments below. I hope you found this video useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe and visit our website and our social media platforms for more tips, advice, resources and reviews. Thank you for watching.